Well, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Bluebond Peak Show podcast.
Is it peep or peak?
Peak.
Oh.
Because we went through this on the first episode because Peep Show would be, it's a peep show.
That's
not
dirty.
Right. That's a little dirty.
Yeah.
Peak Show is everyone gets a peek behind the curtain, behind the Bluebond curtain to see what happens. Yeah, he's the Oz guy.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Pay no attention to me.
Yes, actually, that's not the worst advice ever I've ever heard.
So how's it spelled exactly? Is it P-E-A-K or P-E-E-K?
No, I believe it's P-E-E-K. That's what I've been doing.
Peak is like a
twin peak.
Yeah, we're not
Like
climbing any mountains. We climb the highest mountain. No.
Okay.
We are staying at the valley.
We're staying.
We're staying in the
You're
valley.
taking the curtain and going. Yeah.
The curtain wouldn't make that noise, but I like the noise. All right.
That's one squeaky curtain.
So what I was trying to say is today, guess who we have with us? Wait, don't look. Try to guess who it is. Take a peek behind the curtain. And yes, it's John Faye. I'm sure most of the
keep
people...
hitting the mic. You're going to get all kinds of...
Oh, it's like he's never done a podcast before, even though you have one of your own.
That's true, but I don't use these kinds of mics. I use little clip-on lavalier mics because it's a on-location podcast.
No, it's because you
Nice.
like to say lavalier.
I do like to say lavalier. Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
So one of the things what we're doing is why we just said hello to Mega. Mega, shut the curtain. They never shut the curtain.
Is over here to be peeped.
So we
peeked behind. Peeked.
So we have
With a
adult
K.
bands, an adult band program, which is pretty awesome. So anyone who, it's not for people who are just learning how to play. It's for people who are pretty good. And you just have a hard time finding a band. So what you do is you come here, we put you in a program, we put you in a band together with a few other people and a coach, and you rehearse for a while. And that's what Mega's doing. And she's back there rehearsing with the band, which, of course, she didn't close the sound curtain. So when they start rehearsing again, it's going to get really loud.
Now, you say, you got to be pretty good. Is there some kind of process by, like they come in, they play a few licks for you, and you go, oh, pretty good. And then they go back.
No, this is actually someone else asked this today, and I told them, this is what I say. I go, so you play guitar, eh? From a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not so good and 5 being really good, where do you think you are? And then they go,
You're asking me?
yeah, pretend you're someone.
2.5.
And I go,
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
That would get you in.
And that's the whole process.
Right.
That would get-
okay.
that
That's
would
a
get
good
you.
process.
Most
You're judging a person's arrogance level as they come into the situation. I'm a 5, bro.
yeah,
Fucking 5.
Okay, so no one has said 5
well.
because no one wants to put an expectation that's a little too high.
There's too much self-imposed pressure in
So,
that situation.
of course, 95% of the people say
3.
3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
So in essence, I'm half a point less confident than some schmo that comes in off the street
yes.
to join a band.
Yes.
Well, that's about right.
Yes. All right. So with John here, of course, we're going to ask him the one big question of what's going on in John's life at the moment, which we all know because I'm sure you know.
Are
but
you going
John,
to introduce me?
oh, I thought I did.
I don't think you did. We
Behind
just
the
started-
curtain, behind the curtain, we have John Faye of many incarnations of different bands, all of them amazing, from the Caulfields
Oh,
to
thank
the
you.
John Faye Power Trip to Ike to John and Brittany.
Yeah.
If you
What
go-
am I missing?
If you go through the hallowed halls of Bluebond guitars, the name Ike appears on many an old Bluebond show poster.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I was able to weasel my way into... well, for those who don't know, I used to be a band instructor here for many years.
The
old
band,
location.
the band instructor.
Okay. Well, Charlie had bands too.
Yeah, I know, but you were the.
Okay.
He was a.
I was trying,
You were
Charlie. I was
the.
advocating for you. But it was always a situation where I was like, hey, Rich, how about, when we do that next show at the Trocadero, you let Ike do a set.
Warm up.
Yeah.
And I fell for that.
You fell for it many times. Look at how
Shit.
many times our name is on those posters.
That is true. I didn't realize it was self-promotion that you were doing. I thought it was, being part of the Bluebond team.
He's pulled
I
us
thought
all.
It comes out after all these years.
I can't believe it.
I didn't have everyone's best interest at heart.
Yes, I'm a little hurt.
Okay.
Hurt. a
You'll
little
get
hurt.
over it in about 3, 2, 1.
I'm over
Okay,
it.
Okay.
All right, so all the music stuff, but I know you have something way bigger going on at the moment. Tell me about
I
it.
do. I wrote a memoir. I wrote a book called The Yin and the Yang of It All, and it came out on the 4th of April, so it's just under a week old.
Really?
Yeah.
And on Amazon, right? You can get this book on Amazon?
You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at barnesandnoble.com. You can get it at bookshop.org. Some people are very anti-Amazon, as it turns out.
Yeah.
And I can understand that.
Yep.
But the reality is such a huge majority of books that are sold in the world are sold through Amazon. So you have to do well on that platform in order to do well.
Yeah, Amazon wins. I think that's,
They win.
They
Like,
won. The game's over.
I'm not going to... it's not a hill I can die on right now. I'm trying
Yes,
to
exactly,
trying to
yeah.
hawk a book.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
where does... Tell me about the book. Like, I know obviously it's about... Is it about your career or is it about your life? Are we starting back when you were a kid?
We're starting back when I'm a kid, yeah. Mark's actually read some of it.
Yeah, it's really good.
And, yeah, thank you.
I'm waiting for Mark to give me his
Rich,
copy.
Rich, have you gotten a copy yet?
Rich has not bought a copy. He's waiting for Mark to finish, and then
Yeah.
he will
No, I had...
borrow his
Wait.
copy.
The
Burning
book
a CD for somebody.
You can come to the show and get a copy, Rich.
April
I'll accept that.
25th.
April 25th.
at the Ardmore.
Yes. Ardmore Music Hall, April 25th.
Are tickets still available?
Of course they're still.
And where can you get them?
You can get them at ardmoremusichall.com and look up John Faye on there, or April 25th, and you'll see the link. Or you can go to my website, johnfaye.com.
All right.
Yeah.
So everyone should be there. So I'm going to buy a copy at the show,
Yes.
unless Mark gives me his copy.
In which case, I will not purchase a copy at the show.
So you really...
But yes, the book starts in my early childhood. In essence, the time frame of the book is it's bookended by the passing of both my parents. My father when I'm very young, and my mother in 2012.
Oh.
And in a lot of ways, his passing is the beginning of my strange and interesting path into music. Amongst a bunch of reasons, obviously, like suffering a loss at that early age has a big impact on a kid. And you're half Asian. I don't know how much racism you dealt with as a young fella. Probably not as much as me, because we talked about this. You don't look as immediately Asian until you tell people, and then they're like,
I think
I
maybe
can see that.
they pretend to see it.
Right, they pretend to see it. Whereas with me, especially when I was 6, 7 years old, it was pretty apparent. And this is like right around the end of Vietnam. There's a lot of sentiment that doesn't go my way, a lot of epithets that get tossed in my direction. And, I mean, obviously, as an adult now, if I hear those things, I mean, they might still sting a little bit. But when you're a little kid and you don't have a huge sense of who you are, those kinds of things can really, bring you down.
It's interesting. I experienced the exact opposite of what you did. Because not necessarily when I was little, because no one cared, but when I was in high school, I got into fights with the martial arts club people because I wasn't Asian enough.
Oh, well, trust me, I see what you're saying, and there have been many instances where I'm not Asian enough either. That's part of the unique issue that a mixed race person goes through that maybe a person of color who is just one thing doesn't go through, because we are straddling two worlds essentially where we fit into neither, and we're not enough to be one or the other, or we're too much of the other to be accepted. I mean, it's a lose-lose is what I want to say.
And culturally, it is a big difference between the Asian community and the white community.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Interesting.
But both equally. Look, my book does not point out any of this stuff to in any way indicate that I feel any sense of victimhood over it, because I don't. But, it's just the situation that I was born into, and I had to deal with it. And that's a big part of maybe why I escaped into music at an early age, maybe a little younger than most kids. I was sort of escaping into that world maybe by the time I was closer to like 8, 9, 10, as opposed to like a lot of kids kind of like it starts, at adolescence when you are discovering your first bands that you love on your own that are not your parents or siblings' music and that kind of thing.
With your Asian mom, because I know we had piano lessons at 8 years old. Did you experience that typical, like, sorry about this, Mom. I have said many times, I grew up with an Asian mom, and that brings certain things.
Well, I was not forced to take piano lessons, if that's kind of what your question is. But
did she look at you doing music as in a way that like a lot of Asian moms would, where it's like, if you're going to do it, you do it right,
Well,
or was it like you do your own thing?
Through her actions and conversations that I had later, once I was like obviously going for it, yes, that was her attitude, but it was never stated. I mean, she supported me from the beginning. I asked to buy my friend's $40 drum set. She gave me the money to buy the $40 drum set, But
awesome.
I think in terms of her being, you talk about an Asian mom, I think she was worried for me in a very Asian mom way when I chose to actually pursue music as a career path, because it's just something that she didn't, I don't know. Was your mom born here or no?
No, she was born here. My grandfather was born in China.
Okay, so my mom was born in Korea, had no really reference point whatsoever for pop music, rock and roll, any of it.
Yeah, you should be a doctor.
Well, she was a doctor.
Oh, really?
Yes, she was a psychiatrist.
Oh, and she, not to interrupt you, but she was okay with the music thing, and you never got you have to be a doctor kind of speech?
Well, look, all of that somehow was a little bit implied. When I went to college, I didn't major in music or anything. I mean, I went to college, and without her saying anything, I majored in business administration at first because I thought that's what would please her.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I nearly failed out of it, and so just to remain in the school, I was like, Ma, I got to switch to English. I got no choice here. And plus, I went to the school that I went to in part to keep my high school band together, because we were all going there together.
Oh, really?
So that was another aspect of it.
That was like going to college with your girlfriend. That's like you going to college with your high school girlfriend.
Yeah.
As a band, you decided to...
Right, as a band.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And to be honest, like, we weren't that much of a band at that point. We were just kind of starting out, but we were in state. We lived in Delaware. We all went to University of Delaware. It's not an uncommon thing.
So was this any of the members of the Caulfields?
Yes. And the eventual original lead guitarist of the Caulfields was in my first band that I started at college with. So in some
clinic, right?
Well, it started as No Excuse.
No excuse.
Which then became the Beat Clinic.
We were talking about your book.
We were.
Tell me more about your book.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Like
The book. All right.
Okay.
Well, what do you want to know? I mean, you
Mark,
got to get better with the interviewing here. Come on, Mark, chime in. You've read
First
like
off,
half of this book already.
So everybody knows, we did not plan this. John just came in, and I went, sit in the chair. So I have not thought questions out. So
excuses.
Well, I haven't even read the foreword of the book.
I don't even claim to know you at all.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this guy? So how's it end?
It doesn't end well. I'll say that. If the way that I've laid the book out works to my desired effect, you will cry at the end of the book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not reading it now. Then.
Okay, so you're out.
No crying.
Now, granted, it's called the yin and the yang of it all, which means you're also going to laugh your ass off in certain parts.
It's
going to be like Cats. You're going to laugh, you'll cry.
All right, so it's kind
etc.
of, I was going to say it's kind of like when, having you around here, but that's a laughing. I've never cried with you here. Only those times when
You haven't stayed long enough.
No.
You always say, I'm leaving now.
Every once in a while when you leave, I may shed a tear.
Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Oh,
No.
God.
So you're promoting the book. How, I see you doing a lot of like different vignettes of little funny skit
Yeah,
kind of
so
things.
I was very lucky to. So a friend of mine who is basically a documentary filmmaker, but he's also helped me with like some music videos in the past, and we got together, several months back actually, and talked about, well, what are some ideas that we could use to make little promos for the book. Mm-hmm. And he came up with an idea, and he basically said, well, you think of like 5 little interesting events that happen in the book, and we'll frame it like, there's a voiceover saying, so you're telling me that blah, 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 and you met, you were accosted by David Duke or whatever.
That's who that was? I saw that promo when I was like a KKK guy, and at first I was like, David, like, who else would we know?
Right. Well, that's the guy. Yeah.
So what did he say to you? Or do I have to read the book?
Well, that's the whole point.
Oh, damn, I got to read the book now.
So you're telling
Come
me...
on, just tell me what David Duke said.
And then I... Actually, the fun thing for me for all of those clips is that they are all voiced over by well-known radio DJs. So that particular one was done by Pierre Robert from WMMR. And I had... Cindy Drew, who you might remember from way back in the 80s, who hosted Street Beat on MMR.
Oh, yeah.
I had the guy who used to program Y100 back in the day. His name's Garrett Michaels. He did the one about Sponge, where I crap my pants.
Can I just ask? Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shard Attack.
Shard Attack.
So
yes.
I have often, not often, but I have asked people before, it's like, out of all Americans, 320 million of us, what percentage of people do you think at one point in their life have shit their pants?
Yeah.
100.
No.
Yes, or
No.
close to it. Listen, let me tell you something.
Of Asians, how many have
just
shit their
Asians?
pants? I bet it's a lower. The Asian population shits their pants lower than the Irish Ooh. So you're fitty-fitty.
So it could have gone either way. I could have
yours.
clinched, or I could have let it fly.
Okay.
Well, I don't understand what you're getting at, but I will say this. Almost everybody has an interesting shit story. And the reason I know this is, for a while, I have my own podcast called Talking at the Diner, where I take
You
musicians
didn't
out to eat.
shit your pants at the podcast.
Of course not.
Okay.
Please. Who is this guy?
Well, you could have been going there.
No, here's where I'm going with it. My original idea for a podcast, before I came up with something much more, palatable to the mainstream, was I want to have a podcast where people come on and tell their embarrassing shit stories. And I beta tested this idea with lots of people.
Really?
Men, women, people of all ages. To a person, they were all like, oh, I got one. I'll be on that. Like, literally, no one turned me down.
Wait. Time out.
It's called The Brown Note.
So,
So much.
sorry, that's a rehearsal that someone's making the PA very loud.
Sounded good to me.
So you, in your circle, the John Faye circle, not only has everybody shit their pants, but
This is not just my circle.
Wait.
Like,
No, I wasn't done.
Okay.
Because then you have.
He wasn't
let's
done.
create the diagram, the Venn
diagram, yes.
You shit your pants, and you're willing to publicly talk about it. I have a hard time believing a lot of
wax
people.
on, wax off. Yes.
So and people. So I'm saying no.
Everybody was just into the idea.
What is going
What is
on
this
with
song?
that?
Who is that?
Is
Is that Sean?
That's got to be Sean. So once again, I keep saying it over and over, but if you want to be in a band and you want to make noise like that, this is the place to do it.
If your id is having trouble expressing itself.
So
come here.
what created the demise of the Brown Note?
I wouldn't say it's a demise. It's just on the back burner.
Oh,
It's gonna happen.
the
I mean, I
brown-
already
It's
have
simmering.
like, it's it's festering like an upper decker in the summer, my friend.
High deck.
Well, I'm just letting you know, as being Asian, I have no story. Mark, do you have a story?
Really?
I really no. I don't have a story.
I have an almost story. Like, it was bad. I was walking through a mall, and I was having the worst time. Like, I had to go right then. So I'm thinking, all right, there's plenty of bathrooms in here. So
I love how this has just completely shifted over to the brown note now.
Yeah. I walk up to the bathroom at the mall, and somehow there was an entire Little League baseball team changing in there. And I'm about ready to just...
You blew up the bathroom in front of a bunch of little kids.
No, I did not.
You-
I somehow managed to, get my
he
balance
clenched
in
and waddled away.
in order.
He
and-
remained clinched.
Yeah. So luckily there was a restaurant in there that nobody was in, and I just went in there. And
Luckily, I
blew
went into
that one
Olive
up.
Garden
Yeah.
and
Yeah, but I mean,
What year was this?
it was like the 80s. Yeah.
Oh, you went to Houlihan's.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
we went to
But I always
He blew up a Houlihan's.
I always wondered, why was there a baseball team changing in a mall bathroom
Listen.
nowhere near any baseball
Because it
field?
was a team where someone named like Pastor Rob was the coach.
What are you implying?
I
There you are.
never trust anyone, any of those guys, because over the years it happens where in the summertime, some guy who looks like he's 25 comes in with a whole bunch of teenagers and goes, "Hi, I'm Pastor Bill, and we came up here from Arkansas on a mission." And I,
Okay, 2 words, okay? Jerry Sandusky, okay?
yeah, see,
Yeah.
this is where you got to be. A joke or two went through my head, and I went, "Yeah, I'm going to get myself canceled by doing this shit." But no Jerry Sandusky jokes.
Where, come on.
Yeah, actually,
You'll get canceled by, like, the Penn State cult who can't stand the sound of Joe Paterno or Jerry Sandusky being, mocked.
oh no, I was going past Sandusky right into more of the topic.
Oh, the topic.
So yeah, I decided not to.
Okay.
So
Well, I thought everything was, out in the open here. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we can edit it later.
there's no editing. That's the beauty of this. There is no
Oh, no
editing.
Wow.
editing.
I'm too lazy
Is that
to edit.
the beauty, really?
I'm too lazy to edit because I do it.
Boy, this is...
All right, so give me your good. So the Ardmore. So tell me what you're going to be doing on the April 25th at the Ardmore.
Oh, well, that is a really good question. Thanks for asking.
Like that segue. That was
So,
like a,
pretty good. So the format at the Ardmore show is something that's very unique to anything I've ever done. So it's going to be a songs and stories format in which I will tell stories directly from the book, and then I will have people on stage with me. Actually, I have 13 different musicians involved with this show.
Really?
I have my old band, the Caulfields, in a sort of augmented 8-person lineup. So we're going to be doing all the songs that are related to the Caulfields. And I also have a whole separate band that would be sort of an updated version of Those Meddling Kids, which is my solo band. So I have numerous people in that group. And I also have a good friend of mine named Shug Daniels, who I wrote a song with last year, and we're going to be doing our tune together. Her bass player, Sam Nobles, will be there for that. So it's going to be a lot of different people kind of on and off stage in between my stories, and we're going to be playing the different songs. And also, the storytelling is going to have sort of this almost beat poetry vibe to it, because there's going to be like musical beds underneath the storytelling provided by the bands that
that's
are
cool.
on stage.
That's
So it'll
super
be
cool.
kind of a
so let me.
there'll be a flow to it.
With all these people involved in it, have you been rehearsing this thing, or are you guys going to try to just kind of just go for it? Is it a
Well, there will be some rehearsal, but not a whole lot. Like each band is only rehearsing once.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to go through the outline of what's going to happen. And so there will be kind of like a little bit of an improvisational aspect to that, which I'm excited about.
Are you taking this thing on, like, I don't want to say on tour, but are you doing this more than once, or are you?
Probably not. It's expensive to do it, and I only want to do it that big for the release party. And the subsequent shows will be songs and stories, but it'll probably just be me and a guitar player for a lot of the stuff. So if you want to see the big production, the Ardmore show on April 25th would be the one to come to.
Cool. All right, so when are you going to be done with all this book stuff and then come back and start teaching songwriting and all that kind of stuff here?
Well,
that's what everyone
you
wants
and I
to know.
have been talking about me possibly doing an event here, which would involve, like a workshop
Yes.
for songwriting, but also like basically me telling my story and playing songs, and then kind of veering into the songwriting aspect. Although, if
Wait.
you listen to what we got going on here, like,
Hold
what
on.
do you need that for?
I had to turn
You're not
that-
even clapping anymore. You're just like,
I know. I don't know what he did. I just had to turn that down a little bit. Ed's in there screaming, which is awesome.
well,
I
yeah.
love the enthusiasm.
You want that.
I know. That's the thing. People, we've been advertising this adult band program, and I don't think people understand how much this is just adults rocking and having fun. It's not like a
What do
format
you think
of like
people
you gotta
think
take
it is?
lessons. I think they think it's a little bit more like student. Oh, I have to take lessons, and it's.
I'll tell you what. I will help you develop a series of commercials, not unlike the ones you were talking about with my book, where it will create that message in a very succinct way. I'm gonna actually take a character from my book, this guy Phil, who was auditioning for bass for one of my first bands, and he was like this stringy-haired blonde kid with a Judas Priest vest, and his key phrase that I've carried with me throughout my whole life. In fact, I said it often at Bluebond. He said to me, "Yo, you don't need to know no notes to play rock and roll." So, you could have a guy come on and be like, so do I have to take guitar lessons? And then Phil would just jump into you don't need to know no notes. And that'll be, we could do 5 different ones.
Yeah, actually,
just that
we
guy.
should incorporate that into because we were going to have a night where a video guy was coming in and was going to video some of the bands playing. Because when we do the shows, it's too hard to get good footage. So we were going to just do a whole video shoot back there. But we should incorporate something like that into it. Yeah, because it has to be. People have to understand that it's.
It's all about the messaging.
Yeah, well, it's hard. It's hard to message because I'm not a professional messenger.
You've got a Mint phone.
He's got
You're
got
messaging
the brown
all
note.
kinds
It's
of
the
things
brown
all
note.
the time. You could send this commercial out on your Mint phone and say, send this to 5 friends.
Oh, I could. Oh, look at that.
You have the built-in word-of-mouth network already.
That is true. We do.
All of these
have,
people need 5 of their cronies to join a band here.
I don't like the term cronies.
Oh, I love the term cronies.
Oh, we're talking about our students. We hold them dear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They could be cronies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why is that even a negative thing? It's just people that are just sort of like, your dumb friends. Everybody's got them.
Your dumb friends.
80% of American public.
There you go.
Basic.
They should join the band, and they probably have a good shit story. It all works out.
That
You could have brown note episodes for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you could
If you
tie
play
that
this
into the
card.
price.
Yeah.
Join an adult band. You'll also get a free guest spot on the brown note
Notes.
to tell your shit story.
I'm not comfortable with this.
You need to get a little more adventurous with this, Rich.
No, but I'm pretty much comfortable with everything that we could possibly talk about.
Except this.
Shitting yourself.
You have found the one spot.
Yes.
Well, hey.
All right. So this is, before this goes on for hours, which we could just live stream this and just keep talking. Screw
Great.
it. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. We'll just sit here and talk forever. So everyone, April 25th, go to the Ardmore, buy the book on Amazon, even though Amazon's evil.
You can buy it at the show, too.
What?
You can buy it at the show also.
Or, 25th, buy it at the show. I don't know why he hasn't given us copies here, because then I could say you could come here and buy it. But hey, he gives
Would
it to other
you
stores.
like to carry the book? I mean,
I see ads from other stores on the interwebs.
you see one
saying
store. You see the South Street Art Mart, who have been also longtime friends of mine, who were
Nicole's.
interested.
not as long
in-
as we've been.
Yes, I understand that. Would you like to carry the book?
Not now.
All right, fine. Well, then fuck you then.
I feel slighted.
Yeah, of course you do.
I
Well,
feel
you
like
know,
it-
one of the reasons that I haven't gone way out of my way to have other outlets carry the book is that now I gotta give you $10 every time I sell one. I mean,
I wasn't even thinking about charging a commission, but now that
Oh.
you say that,
see,
it
always starts from the purest of places with him, and then it degenerates.
I try to stay pure.
He tries.
But the people here,
Right.
they just keep rubbing me like sandpaper. It's like sandpaper. What is that from? That's an old Bluebond story.
Sandpaper?
There was a customer who was irate about something, and he kept saying, "You're like sandpaper." Yes, but
Wow.
of course, I couldn't imagine taking money from you. I'd just pay you less for the
For the thing, right? Yeah.
for the song.
It all comes
thing.
from somewhere. That is the time honored. Well, I won't charge you for that, but
But I'll pay.
I'm going to need you to do the
Yeah.
thing
I
for
want points on the back end.
50%
Maybe
off,
on the
right?
flip side.
Right.
All right,
exactly.
so this
Well,
is
this has
it.
been great. Very unexpected treat.
Yeah, see, and
been
this,
wonderful.
so for all the other musicians in Philly, if you stop by, we're gonna make you sit in the seat and do a podcast. All right, we will see you next time from the Bluebond Peak Show. See ya.